Woman has more income than the man, then she's going to stay at work while the husband or father is going to stay behind and take care of the child. So just because of these gender stereotypes, this has been maybe the last and hardest one to break, where we feel a man should be out there working and providing.
They just want to be left alone, to go their own way and to live their life. They do not want alimony.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Today on Family Law War Stories. Women pay alimony too. I once had this client, 5-year marriage, no kids. In the marriage, the husband decides to quit his 6-figure job and go be a scuba instructor at $30 an hour. Two options: pay alimony, $900 a month for half the length of marriage, or to challenge it by imputing him income. It would involve hiring a vocational evaluator and paying $30,000 to $40,000 more in attorney's fees. To pay the alimony and just move on. Then alimony was tax deductible, so there was a benefit. She promised me the next time she gets remarried, she's gonna get a prenup waiving alimony.
I gotta give her props. I give her a big shout out for taking a higher road and saying, I'm not paying extra money in lawyer fees. I'm going to pay it and move on. And that man lucked out. He probably was making more than her. He had a midlife crisis, right? Became a scuba instructor. I'm not saying it's necessarily a midlife crisis, but he followed his dreams, right? He followed his dreams. Became a scuba instructor and laughed all the way to the bank. Shout out to you, bro. City Boys up 1,000 points. Let me help us with the next one.
Women are increasingly becoming the primary breadwinner in the household, and calls to close the gap, close that gender pay gap, grow stronger. Those numbers are expected to increase. But with that comes an increasingly different side effect. And let's talk more about the divorce and alimony.
Yeah, and here to discuss is family law attorney Christopher Melcher of Walser & Melcher. Thanks so much for coming back.
Thanks.
Always love having you here. Well, okay, so women pay more for child support and alimony. Are you seeing this in your practice?
We are. We're seeing about 40% of households have the woman as the primary.
No, it's 40% of households, so I'm guessing, of course, those 40%, the men are actually getting the money, because some men reject it. But if you're saying 40, that means they're actually getting the money.
Primary breadwinner for that family. And it makes sense, because if the woman has more income than the man, then she's going to stay at work while the husband or father is going to stay behind and take care of the child.
40%.
I would say that is pretty good. Economically, I would assume that is the best decision. But let's talk about it. When a woman does make more money, does that cause a problem in the marriage?
It can, Colleen. I think there's some natural resentment anytime someone is out there working and the other is staying at home. But also just because of these gender stereotypes, this has been maybe the last and hardest one to break, where we feel a man should be out there working and providing and not receiving support from a woman, and that's hard for that couple to reconcile.
And what happens when the couple breaks up, unfortunately? What sort of problematic things do you see with the man making less than the woman?
So what'll happen is that the woman will have to continue supporting the man, because he's now out of the workforce. He can't go back and quickly. He also has childcare responsibilities, so they may not have liked the arrangement before when they were married, but now after separation, she's going to have to continue supporting him at that same standard of living that they had.
Wow. So are any men kind of embarrassed to ask for the support?
So she pointed out a good thing, and I want to know that too. Are the men embarrassed?
There are. We're seeing that some men just will not receive support from a woman. Others will put that aside and just really realistically have no choice but to take the support.
So that number, that 40%, drops down. And they said some, maybe to about 30%, right? So they naturally have that thought and that mindset to think, wait a minute, I can't. This is my wife. I can't take money from her. Well, when it's on the shoes on the other foot, they go, oh, I can't wait to take money from him.
Well, what kind of advice would you give couples that are, entering into a marriage and maybe she makes more, she has a potential to make more? What kind of advice do you give them?
I think looking at those causes of resentment and understanding the choices that they're making, that's what's best for the child, and to have that open and honest communication about the decisions that they made.
Gosh, it's incredible. But you know what? I know for people who are stay-at-home parents, I did it for like 2 years. It was the hardest job I ever had. So I feel like any person who really, they are entitled to a good income.
Yeah, it is very hard.
Yeah, so prenup, good idea?
Always.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, spoken from the true person who knows everything about that. Christopher Melcher, nice to have you again. Appreciate that. And I would be curious to see how many people, the woman makes more. Is that the divorce rate higher? It'd be really interesting to see that.
Very interesting.
So next time, we'll check into that. All right.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see.
Men don't take alimony because of their pride, unless the wife is a celebrity. That's when the alimony can be thousands and thousands of dollars. But if it's an insignificant amount, which it usually is for the middle class and middle upper class, then I've seen it in my practice where the husband will say, I don't want to pay taxes on the alimony, and therefore I don't want the alimony.
That's crazy. Now, why would a guy say, I don't want to pay taxes on the alimony? Like, thinking so say if you get $5,000, the taxes on that is going to be considerably less. Take the alimony. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me, but she's loyal, she's right. But you see that? In both cases, in both videos, she said men a lot of times don't want to take it. She said it and then the other lady said it. That's wild. That's interesting.
Who had to pay their ex-husbands. 9. Halle Berry, $8,000 a month. Olivia Martinez lasted just 2 years, but the two couldn't reach an agreement for 8 years. Only in 2023 was the matter finally settled. Berry will pay Martinez $8,000 in child support. They'll share joint custody of their 9-year-old son, Maceo. In addition, Berry will pay him 4.3% of any income she receives, above $2 million.
Ooh, so I guess that was the agreement that they come to. 4.3% of everything she receives over $2 million? That's pretty much every movie she receives, right?
8. Britney Spears, $20,000 a month. Britney and Kevin Federline divorced in 2007. The same year, she lost custody of their children. Spears was ordered to pay him monthly child support. She also had to cover tuition fees, school costs, and extracurricular activities. In 2018, Federline sued for more. He demanded the monthly payments be raised to $60,000. The matter was resolved out of court. 7. Mary J. Blige, $30,000 a month. Blige's marriage to Martin Kendu Isaacs ended in a bitter divorce. He asked for $130,000 a month, plus child support payments. His children are from a previous marriage. Isaacs had cheated on Blige and lied to her, yet the judge sided with him. Still, the amount was lowered, and no child support was authorized. 6. Mel B, $40,000 a month. Mel and Stephen Belafonte were married for 10 years. The two shared a daughter together. Brown filed for divorce in 2020. Mel accused him of domestic violence. She said she feared he might kill her. Eventually, a judge ordered her to pay alimony to Belafonte. Mel also had to cover $140,000 in legal fees. 5. Candace Parker, $400,000. Parker was married to former NBA player Sheldon Williams. After 8 years of marriage.
That's the thing, right? I remember Sheldon Williams. He's a former NBA player. Now, WNBA, they don't make that much money. She does get endorsements and other things like that, but she may be one of the highest paid because she's one of the most profitable. She has a bigger name. She may have a shoe deal. I'm not sure. I don't really look at what she's doing, but still, in his NBA days, he probably made at least, $1 million or a little bit under. He got paid, but I guess he gets money.
He filed for divorce. She opted to pay him a lump sum of $400,000. This freed her from monthly child support payments. The couple agreed to share custody of their daughter. 4. Elizabeth Taylor, $1 million. Taylor's seventh and final husband was Larry Fertinsky. He was a construction worker she met in rehab. They married in 1991 and divorced in 1996. Fertinsky received $1 million in the settlement.
Now you notice a lot of times these women that are like real famous, sometimes, not all the time, they'll get divorced in like 8 years, 10 years, 7 years. It's wild, but probably because the guy can't take their attitude.
But 3 years later, he suffered a drunken fall. He spent 6 weeks in a coma. Taylor immediately offered to send him $1,000 a month. She sent him $15,000, risking a foreclosure on her property. When Taylor died in 2011, she willed him $800,000. 3. Kate Winslet, $4 million. Winslet married Jim Threppleton in 1998. He was an assistant director on her film, Hideous Kinky. 1 child, and 3 years later, they finalized their divorce. Winslet was ordered to fork over a one-time payout of $4 million. 2. Jennifer Lopez, $14 million. J-Lo married her backup dancer, Chris Judd. In September 2001, the couple divorced. 9 months later, Lopez was worth around $80 million at the time. She was forced to pay $14 million to Judd. However, this sum came with a catch. Judd had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. It prevents him from ever speaking publicly about their relationship. He'll keep getting paid as long as he keeps his mouth shut. 1. Madonna, $92 million.
$92 million?
Madonna's marriage to Guy Ritchie ended after 9 years. The divorce settlement was supposed to be secret, but it was leaked to the press. The couple issued a statement, which read in part,
"The financial details of the settlement will remain private. Safe to say that both of us are happy with our agreement."
Ritchie received $92 million of Madonna's $450 million fortune.
That's a big payday.
I can count over 40 years, 6 men who got spousal support. Men, for reasons of pride, do not want alimony if their wives have great assets or are earning far more money than they are. They just want to be left alone, to go their own way, and to live their life. They do not want alimony.
Did you hear that? These guys don't want it. Their wife could have homes, all kind of stuff. I'll take a little bit of money. I'm sure they're taking something, right? I'm sure they're taking a small amount, but she said they're not taking it. So I'm wrong. They don't want it. They don't want none of the assets. They don't want the homes. They don't want a piece. Let her take her money and go. I'm happy with what I have. This is wild.
Although I have to tell you that, it's the last remaining feminist taboo. I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful, or the artist, there's a lot, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you gotta give him half your, or oh no, you gotta pay alimony because he makes 50 grand a year and you make 250. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world, and when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, 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 he's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. And then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing, that goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony.
Yeah, so this is why women want men that make more. You see the answer now. I guess it makes sense. Women are trying, they're grinding, they're working as hard as ever, and this is what it is now. You want equality? It's equal. Now they have to pay up, and this is sad. It's sad for them, I guess. They don't want to say it. You even seen in the last video, the woman said, "Yeah, they get angry about it. I get it. Men are getting taken to the cleaners, accepting it." Then you have men not even taking the alimony a lot of times. And of course, women are going to get angrier. But that's where we're at, guys. But thank y'all for watching the video. See you next time.